So which of these statements are true regarding tests where we're stubbing out where? Concerning A, the controller is tightly coupled to the model. Well, when we're using where, we're pretty much passing attributes of the model as the arguments to where. So that suggests that the controller has pretty specific knowledge of the model schema, right? The contrasting opinion would be, suppose that I had a way of determining if a customer is an admin. You can think of two different ways you might try to export that or expose that from the model. One of them is, in a controller method, you could just search for where, and then you have some admin attribute that's part of the model schema. Another way is you could have a model method called isAdmin, or a model method like findAllAdmins, and then the implementation of the method is completely hidden in the model. If you change the schema so that you change the representation of what makes somebody an admin, you don't have to change the controllers. So in the example I'm giving, statement A is true in that because we're putting where directly into the controller, as opposed to essentially delegating responsibility for figuring that out to the model, that puts the controller more tightly coupled to the model. And if you're a real purist, you might say that where should not actually appear in controllers at all. It should just appear in model methods. And if there's specific subsets of things that are important to look for, they should get their own methods. And you should hide it that way. Concerning B, in a static language, we'd have to use dependency injection to achieve this. There are probably other ways you could do it, but in general, B is true. What you would typically do in a static language is you would have a method somewhere in the controller that, when called, returns a representation of something like the database connection. And in a test, what you would do is you would use that as a point of dependency injection to replace the thing that would normally be returned. Instead, you're going to return essentially a fake version of the database connector. And when that's called, you're essentially able to stub the method out. So there are probably other ways that you can get around this in a static language, because you can't just decide to stub a method anywhere you want like you can in dynamic languages. But for the most part, in a static language, dependency injection is how you would do this, right? Instead of hardwiring a connection to something, you arrange for the connection to be something that's returned from another method. That's the point where you've injected the dependency, and that's the method that at testing time you can replace with something that returns a fake version, that returns a stub, or that returns a method that will give you a canned response. Try doing this in Java sometime, and you'll see what I mean. OK, so did the example make sense? So both A and B turns out to be the preferred answer for this one.